Lord of the Mysteries. Chapter 775. Making Use. Viscount Stratford, Royal Guard Captain of the Royal Family. From this post, the Great Smog of Backlund does have inklings of a particular royal family faction being behind it. As for who it is, it will require investigation. Klein temporarily didn't have the time to verify Trissy's answer, so all he did was make Senor scoff. "I'm a little doubtful since you are telling me this so easily," Trissy said in a scoffing and self-deprecating manner. "That's because it's something good for me. I can tell that you and the faction you represent are very interested in the true motives of those pulling the strings of the royal family. I would be very happy if I can provide some useful clues that cause you to have conflict with them, causing the real conspirer to surface. This will aid in my revenge and also be of the greatest help to me. According to this logic, does that also mean that I can use you to investigate this matter and fish out the mastermind behind this? From that, I can allow my faction to hide in safety before it obtains any actual information." Wasn't what Trissy said meant to entice me to engage in limited cooperation with her, while she also volunteers to be the mind clearer in order to reveal the truth? She is clearly expressing her value. She's afraid that I'll eventually decide to kill her. Klein roughly understood what Trissy was truly getting at as he controlled the wraith to say, "Very reasonable. I should also do the same. I believe that without my threats or enticement, you'll attempt to make contact with Viscount Stratford after you recover from your wounds." Trissy curled her lips and said, "I only hope that he doesn't like men. This isn't something that cannot be resolved. If you're already sequence 5, then you can consider switching to the Hunter Pathways sequence for Iron-Blooded Knight. Also, have you forgotten your past self? Why are you getting used to the powers of a demoness of pleasure to deal with men?" Klein lampooned before making Senor smile. "This isn't a problem. You can always show him your old photo." Trissy was taken aback as a slightly twisted expression colored her face. A humiliation that she had buried deep inside her had been dug out, exposing it beneath the sun. Her beautiful eyes were tainted with what stemmed from anger from the humiliation. Her face, which was pale due to her injuries, instantly flushed red. Trissy quickly reined in her emotions and scoffed, speaking with a suppressed voice. "As expected of Admiral of Blood. It appears you know plenty about the Demoness pathway." She wasn't sure before. "I made that joke because I thought the Demoness sect and the Rose School of Thought had worked together, making her believe that Admiral of Blood would know the secret of the assassin pathway. Regardless, it's not nice mocking the gender of others. This is in line with Admiral of Blood's persona. A marionettist principle is, remember that every marionette has its own setting?" The reason why Trissy had mentioned her past photo was apparently just to vent and grind off an enemy's joy and excitement. She wasn't taking notice of the details she mentioned. Klein nodded in thought as he controlled Senor. "At my level, there will always be plenty of secrets I know." He didn't continue on the topic as he said, "How can I contact you? I might be able to provide you with some help during the investigations of Viscount Stratford." Trissy reached her hand towards her ear and grabbed a clump of smooth, raven black hair. Then, blue ice formed, allowing her to crack it off. She then spread out her palm, allowing a silent, pitch-black flame to appear, burning the hair to ashes. These ashes weren't lifted up by the cold winds in the sewers, but they had shrunk, forming a sticky black object. "Smear it uniformly over a mirror, and then I'll know that you're looking for me. I'll subsequently use that mirror to communicate with you." Trissy shook her wrist and threw the pasty black object to Senor. "It can be used about 5 times, and that should be enough." As Senor was only a marionette, Klein wasn't worried about letting him grab the black sticky object. After taking a few looks, he stuffed it into his pocket. Trissy fell silent for a few seconds before biting her lip. "If I need your help, how do I contact you?" "That's a problem." Klein did wish to have her directly contact Miss Messenger, Rionette Tynker. After all, Trissy would later know that behind the wraith was Gehrman Sparrow if she gathered any news about Admiral of Blood. This wasn't something that could be hidden. After a few seconds of consideration, he decided to be a little more cautious. He decided to wait until Trissy had any substantial discoveries before changing the communication method. After all, she isn't someone to be trusted. To avenge Prince Edisac, some of her feelings are real, but they likely include some other goals, for example, seeking revenge for herself. Klein made Senor survey the area and said, "These sewers hide plenty of secrets. I'll come often. You can leave the help you need in text form here. If the matter is urgent, preventing you from doing it in time, you can contact that person from before to get him to leave the message." Trissy slowly nodded. Okay. With the conversation almost done, Klein planned on letting his marionette Senor leave. At that moment, he caught sight of Trissy's hands. He discovered that the sapphire ring, which was equivalent to a Grade 0 sealed artifact, was gone. I noticed it just now, but I thought she had switched it to her other hand or another finger, but it's actually gone. From the looks of it, she paid a considerable price back when she escaped Prince Edisac's Red Rose Manor and escaped in Sanguil's 0-08s. Control. The mark that the Prince Edisac left on her has also vanished? Klein thought for a moment before getting Senor to laugh. One more thing. Which evil god did you sell your soul to? Trissy gave the middle-aged man a deep look. The primordial demonis. Weren't you trying to escape from that strange state? Didn't you feel that you were increasingly becoming less like yourself? Why did you backtrack? Don't you know that by changing your name to Trissy Cheek, they were trying to make you the primordial demonis vessel? No, she might really not know. She might not even know what cheek means. She did her best to escape her fate, only to plunge deeper into it. At that instant, Klein felt a baffling fear towards fate and deities. He made Senor smile. It's hard for me to believe it with you replying so easily without any qualms. Trissy's eyes had a slight tinge of confusion as she said in a self-deprecating manner, "That's because it's a problem for me, not a secret. With one more person knowing, there might be one more chance of a solution presenting itself. Even if the chances are slim, it's better than nothing. While solving the problem, there's also a high chance that you'll be finished." Klein didn't continue the topic as he said after some thought, "When you approach Viscount Stratford and the mastermind behind all of this, take note of any coincidences that often happen around you. The deeper the investigation into the great smog of Backlund is, the more likely it would gain the attention of Sanguil and 0-08. Coincidences." Trissy was taken aback as she repeated the word. At that instant, she recalled all the coincidences she had encountered back at Red Rose Manor. Amidst her thoughts, she suddenly looked up, only to realize that Admiral of Blood Senor had vanished. The next morning, Klein woke up punctually, and with the assistance of Richardson, he wore his coat. Just as he arrived in the dining hall, he saw Walter standing by the door, politely awaiting his arrival. "Sir, your schedule for today is to participate in a tea session at Member of Parliament Mock's residence," Walter professionally reminded his employer. He was stern, old-fashioned, and conscientious. He looked no different from his usual self, making it impossible to tell that he had headed for the sewers in the middle of the night. Klein nodded with a smile as though nothing had happened. "I haven't forgotten." He then entered the dining hall and enjoyed an exquisite meal that had started showing signs of being repetitive. There's not enough variety for breakfast. Klein focused on eating, and after he was done, he put down his cutlery and sighed. "I miss my hometown a little. Get the cook to prepare some desi pie tomorrow." "Yes, sir. I should have thought of that earlier," housekeeper Tanager replied apologetically. Klein waved his hand as a gesture for her not to take it to heart before he headed to the garden for a stroll. After doing all of this, he returned to the third story to continue reading the papers he hadn't finished until his etiquette teacher, Wyanna, arrived. Wyanna was still dressed decently with an elegant bearing. She smiled at Dwayne. Dantes and said, "I heard you would be heading to Mam Rihanna's place for high tea later today. Then, this lesson will focus on high tea." Klein maintained his smile as he listened attentively, asking questions from time to time. About 30 minutes later, Walter knocked on the door and entered. "Sir, Member of Parliament Mock's servant just came over to inform us that the high tea session has been cancelled because Mam Rihanna's daughter, Miss Hazel is sick. She's very apologetic for that, and she wishes to invite you again next week. Hazel is sick? A result of last night's fright? It's not impossible if it's an ordinary person, but a beyonder has their physical qualities enhanced. The chances of that happening are very low. Furthermore, Hazel clearly hasn't seen the changes that result from the loss of control brought about by potions. Her mental state is still well, allowing her to feel a sense of superiority and having no fear. Even if she was frightened, it wouldn't result in any psychological ailments. Ailments. Sequence 5 of the Demonist pathway can make people around them get infected with ailments. Last night, Trissy secretly released her ailment after seeing a stranger enter the sewers? And as a wraith, Senor wasn't affected, so I didn't discover it. Such a problem isn't too serious. Hazel didn't spend much time in the area for too long. She's just a little shaken, preventing her from recovering quickly. From the looks of it, Trissy has really advanced to Sequence 5. Klein nodded gently and said, "Please give Miss Hazel my regards."